Hi, welcome to another retro pickups video. I'm going to be showing you some of the acquisitions I've been able to get over the last few months, including one of my all-time favourite consoles, some amazing 3D printed stands and some great games. So I hope you can stick around for a nice chilled out look through some retro goodness. Here we go. So the first thing I have to show you is these amazing 3D printed handheld stands that my good friend Mike Kirkman made me. So I have to give a big shout out to Mike. I've got one here that is 3D printed for the original Game Boy, and what I love about this is it's even got the little vents here, like on the front of the Game Boy itself. So that is awesome. And then moving across, we've got a GameboyAdvance stand. And then lastly, we have the PlayStation Portable, the PSP. So by the magic of editing, I am now going to show you what these look like with the handhelds attached. So here we are. How awesome are these? With the Game Boy, original Game Boy attached, the Game Boy Advance and the PSP. Absolutely loving these. So again, a big shout out to Mike for creating these on his 3D printer. Thanks, Mike. And talking of handhelds, I've also been really lucky to get these 3 Zelda games from my lovely wife Lucy for Christmas. You'll probably know, if you follow me on social media, that I'm going through a bit of a Zelda kick at the moment after retrying Breath of the Wild. But here are a few different games, 3 technically for the Game Boy Advance and 1 for the Nintendo Switch, which isn't retro really, but I thought it would fit in nicely here. So we've got the 4 Swords and Link to the Past. And yeah, I really like Link to the Past. I played it on the SNES before, and it translates really well onto the Game Boy Advance, that you can obviously take it around with you, which is nice. 4 Swords I couldn't get into because it seems to require more than one Game Boy to make it work. So although it says 2 games on there, I can only really play one of them. But I've been really enjoying revisiting Link to the Past and trying to play that one. I'm still not brilliant at it, but I've managed to get a little bit further than I did last time, so I'm really enjoying that one. I'm also really enjoying Zelda the Minish Cap. It's one of my favourite, actually, I've discovered, of the 2D Zelda platformers. RPGs or whatever you call them. Yeah, really good game. The sort of the gimmick with this one is that you shrink down to talk to the Minish people and solve puzzles that way. So it's really interesting, that one. And on the Switch, I've got I can't really call it a follow-up to Breath of the Wild. It's kind of a sidestep, really, a prequel, Hyrule Warriors. And I got the special edition with the poster and notebook, and it was really, really cool. It's never going to be a patch on Breath of the Wild, of course, but it's really good fun to play. A bit of a beat 'em up set in the same universe about 100 years previous to Breath of the Wild. So definitely worth checking out, but don't expect it to be quite as good as Breath of the Wild. It's a bit of a stopgap until Breath of the Wild 2 comes out, if it ever comes out, fingers crossed. So yeah, there's 3 Zelda games that I've been really enjoying at the moment on my handhelds. And now it's time for my pièce de résistance, the one I'm most excited about. So this is my favourite Christmas present of the retro variety. So unfortunately, even though this is a modded console, modded Atari 2600, it has got composite. It is going into a splitter, so it's potentially able to record and capture the footage straight onto my computer, but unfortunately also my computer doesn't want to play ball with the screen capture device. So I've gone old school here. You'll see the flickering on the TV. This is recorded from a camera straight onto the game, so I hope you don't mind the quality here, but I wanted to show you the 2600, however you say it, working in its natural habitat. So here we have probably my favourite game so far. This is Chopper Command. Bit of a Defender clone, this one, but a good one. Oh, I just wish I could play it. And I'm cheating slightly here as well because I'm using a Mega Drive controller. I love the original Atari joystick, but it is quite stiff to use, and especially if you're used to more modern controllers. So as you can see here, playing it on a Mega Drive controller, which works really, really well. Doesn't improve my gameplay any, as you can see. Next up is the aforementioned Defender. Classic game. Classic game. I'm trying to remember how you pick up these people you're supposed to save. Where did I go? Next up is Gorf. Really interesting one, this one. It starts off looking like a complete Space Invaders clone, but as you go through the levels, it changes the style of the game, which is kind of cool. So now we go to level 2, and it changes completely into a completely different game. And then again, level 3, we go into a bit of a Star Wars looking game. Guessing that's a TIE fighter of some sort. So yeah, really good game, that one. Next up is one called Kaboom, which I am terrible at. And I think it's because I think you're supposed to have paddles with this one rather than the joystick. It doesn't seem to want to move at all. Every so often it will work. It's a shame because it looks like a really fun game, this one. As you can see, I am awful at it. Next up is Marine Wars. You play as a submarine in this one. The cartridge is totally different on this one, so I don't know if it was a later game in the Atari's life, or whether it was just a special. Whoops. A special company's way of making theirs a bit different. This one's called 3D Tic-Tac-Toe, which I'm not entirely sure what tic-tac-toe is. I'm guessing it's like noughts and crosses. It seems to work that way. Haven't worked out how to play this game yet, and as you can see, the machine is 40 years old and it has got its quirks for sure. It's not working so well on this one. So at this point, my Atari totally packed up. She's an old girl and she's temperamental and has her quirks, which is why we love her. But yeah, it decided not to work at that point. So I am cheating wildly now and have moved over to my Raspberry Pi for some emulation. But I still wanted to show you the games that I got with my new Atari. So this is, I think you can guess this one, Space Invaders. Absolute classic. Another classic, Donkey Kong, which I have to say probably looks better on the ColecoVision, I think. Can't even work out how to get upstairs here. There we go. Oh! And last up, another very recognisable classic, Pac-Man. And finally, whilst we're on the emulation station, it makes sense to continue with these are the Game Boy Advance games, which will show up better on emulation than on the way I've been playing them, which is Game Boy Advance. So I'll give you a little bit of a gameplay on this. We have Link to the Past and Four Swords on here. Zelda top-down games. And done pretty well on the Game Boy Advance, I think. And like I said before, I couldn't get Four Swords to work because I think you need to have different Game Boys attached together. And you need to have some friends, both of which I don't have. But this is the Minish Cap. This is, at the moment, my favourite of the top-down Zelda games. Really enjoying this one. I'll give you a quick look at the gameplay on this. But as I was saying before, the great thing about this is that you shrink down to meet these tiny little people called the Minish, who help you. Zelda seems to be asleep at the beginning of pretty much every Zelda game, doesn't he? He's definitely a man after my own heart. So I hope you enjoyed that. That was my quick look at the retro pickups I've had this last few months in winter, and it's looking like I'm not going to be getting many more chances to go out for a while to look at any more retro stuff, so I'd be interested to see what spring brings. So thanks very much for watching. Apologies for some of the camera issues and console issues and all of that, but I hope you've enjoyed looking through some of those games and consoles and things like that, and I'd love to hear what you've picked up over the last few months, and please share it in the comments. Thanks very much for watching.